You have a version of yourself at work, a version with your parents, a version with close friends, and a version when you're completely alone. And if you're honest, they don't all sound like the same person. Your vocabulary changes, your posture changes, how loud you laugh changes, even what opinions you're willing to share changes. And at some point you've probably asked yourself, which one of those is actually the real you? The answer is more uncomfortable than most people expect. There isn't one. Not because you're fake, but because your brain was never designed to have a single fixed identity. Here's what's actually happening. From a very early age, your brain learns something critical. Different environments have different rules, and breaking those rules has consequences. So your brain built multiple behavioral profiles, each one optimized for a specific social context. Psychologists call this self-monitoring, the process where you continuously scan your environment and adjust your behavior to match what's expected. High self-monitors do this automatically, often without even realizing it, shifting tone, personality, even values, depending on who's in the room. And here's what most people never realize. This isn't weakness. It's actually one of the most sophisticated things your brain does. In real time, it's reading social cues, predicting expectations, and calculating the most effective version of you to present. But it comes with a cost. The more you shift between versions of yourself, the harder it becomes to know which one is authentic. You start to feel like an actor who's been playing different roles for so long that off stage you don't know how to stand. Research by psychologist Mark Snyder found that high self-monitors are more socially successful on the surface, better liked, more adaptable, quicker to fit in. But they also report significantly higher levels of internal confusion about who they actually are. Because the brain that's always optimizing for the room has very little practice, just being. There's another layer to this. The version of you that shows up when you're completely alone. No audience, no expectations, no performance. That version is the most psychologically honest one. Not because it's more real, but because it's the only version operating without social pressure. And for a lot of people, that version feels the most unfamiliar. Because they've spent so much time adapting to others, that solitude feels uncomfortable rather than natural. So what does this actually mean? It means the goal isn't to find one true self and perform it everywhere. That's not how human identity works. The goal is to know which versions of yourself you're choosing and which ones are being chosen for you by fear, approval, or habit. Because there's a difference between adapting genuinely and disappearing completely. So tell me, which version of you do you think is the most honest?